Good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to Fordham University for the 2023 Fintech Innovation Lab Demo Day. Having worked with the program in its early years, I can appreciate the amount of effort and commitment that each of the companies and the financial services firms have made during these past few months to arrive at today's session. Understanding the importance of innovation in the financial services industry and for New York City, we at Fordham are delighted to be your hosts today. I'm excited to hear from this year's class of entrepreneurs as they share their stories with us, and I'll take this opportunity to offer my congratulations for all you've already accomplished. Before I turn the agenda over to David and to Maria, I'd just like to share a few points about Fordham University for those of you who may not be as familiar with our school. Fordham was founded in 1841, and our business school recently celebrated its 100th anniversary. Our university is known as the Jesuit University of New York, and we're committed to the discovery of wisdom and the transmission of learning through research and through education of undergraduate, graduate, and professionals. We currently have 17,000 students across our undergraduate and graduate programs, located on primarily two campuses, our campus up on Rose Hill in the Bronx, and this, our Lincoln Center campus. And technology does play an important role for our students, many of whom are studying in STEM-designated programs. We have 750 dedicated faculty and a vibrant network of 200,000 alumni. And we also support a focus on our local community with programs supporting both local high schools and businesses. Innovation is also important to us here at Fordham, and our local business incubator, the Fordham Foundry, has just celebrated its 10th anniversary. The program focuses on both our students and local business entrepreneurs and offers counseling and investment through various programs. So we're delighted to have you all here today to hear from the entrepreneurs. And now, without further ado, let me introduce David Parker, my good friend, Global Financial Services Lead for Accenture.
Thank you, Bob. It's brilliant to see you back here. I know you were here for the very first of these labs 13 years ago. Thank you to Fordham for graciously hosting us. As Bob said, I lead Accenture's financial services business globally, and I'm really, really excited to be here with all of you. Accenture, it's a pleasure for us, to co-sponsor this event with the Partnership Fund for New York City. I want to thank also every financial institution that's been part of the program, the VCs, the executives in residence, and the advisors and mentors who've been part of it. It really wouldn't be, the same without you, and it wouldn't be where we are today, 13 years on, without your collaboration and partnership. And I'm really delighted to see how it's grown over that time. We are deeply grateful. When we first launched this lab, everyone, I think, was seeing fintech as potentially a disruptor. Something that was going to shake up the norm, was going to create, in some cases, serious challenges for existing players. I think 13 years on, that's changed. Most of our clients see fintech now as a critical enabler, a source of innovation, a source of inspiration to help them help their customers. In the 13 years since we've been working together, the program has had nearly 100 alumni. At a lowest base, 84% of them are still in business. So if you're a part of the cohort today, I think you've got a good chance still being in business. But more importantly, there have been 25 successful exits, more than $2.5 billion of capital has been raised by those firms. And perhaps most importantly, for the community, more than 2,500 jobs have been created as a result of this program. We all know, in the industry now is a challenging time for financial services, and that's why I think this program is even more relevant than it has been in previous years. Innovation, technology, is at the heart of financial services. In Accenture, we believe that every financial services company is at heart a technology business. I've been involved in many of these programs over the years, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this cohort that you're going to hear from today is the strongest and the best that I've seen yet, and I think you're going to be really excited, by what you hear. The lab remains a critical, nexus for how we bring together, startups and innovators and entrepreneurs with established financial services companies. It's about reimagining, how people solve problems. It's about how you protect your customers. It's about how you engage with your community, and it's about finding exciting, new ways of doing things. As we hear from this class. Certainly from an Accenture perspective, but I think I speak, for everybody involved in the program. We look forward to your success, and we can't wait to see, how your futures evolve. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Maria Gotch from the Partnership Fund for New York City to introduce this year's cohort.
Good morning and welcome. It's a pleasure to share the FinTech Lab stage again with Bob Gatch, who was such a terrific partner at the beginning of setting up this program. So thanks to you and Fordham University for hosting us, and also to David Parker and the full Accenture team for being such a great partner in this program. So our goal when we launched the FinTech Innovation Lab was to ensure that New York City was not just a center for financial services, but a center for innovation in financial services. That the new ideas around money that were being developed on the West Coast should and could be brought into regulated financial services, most of which was headquartered in New York City. And it's working. So New York and the Bay Area are neck and neck when it comes to fintech financing. And with respect to jobs, a recent report showed that more than half of the job openings for startups in the United States were in the Bay Area and in New York City, and New York City was equal to the Bay Area. And when it came to fintech jobs, the percentage of job openings was higher in New York City than it was in the Bay Area. So the lab's contribution to this growth has been pulling together the critical elements that early-stage companies need to be successful. And these include access to senior executives at our bank and insurance partners who help the companies understand what is it that a bank and an institution actually needs, as opposed to what you, the entrepreneur, think they need, and why they will buy it. Guidance from other successful entrepreneurs on how to scale a tech company and attract great talent. Insights from venture capitalists on what is it that makes a fundable company. And discussions with current and past regulators on how to move fast but not break things when you're bringing innovation into a regulated industry. So thanks to all of you in the room who provided time, expertise, and guidance to this class and past classes, because you really are what makes this program unique and special. And now to this year's cohort. They demonstrate that New York City continues to be a magnet for both talent and money focused on fintech. 50% of the cohort are from Europe, because they know that New York City is the place to enter the US market. They are solving important problems in cyber, inclusivity, data, and operational efficiency. And we are confident that after you listen to them this morning, you are going to want to spend more time with them. So now we're going to kick things off with Lindsay Simpson of 55 Redefined. She will be introduced by Anindya Sengupta from Prudential. Anindya?
Good morning. My name is Anindya Sengupta. I'm part of Prudential's Enterprise Innovation Team, and we have been part of the FinTech Innovation Lab for the past 3 years, and it's been a pleasant experience for me. So before I introduce Lindsay, if I were to ask you what's a common thread between Sir Richard Branson, George Clooney, and Harrison Ford, I think you might be thinking they're all famous, but they're also old, right? Yes, they're old, but they're also redefiners. That's a term coined by 55 Redefined. This is a startup that started to challenge the ageism and empowers people with 50 years old to live a best life. The story began when their founder and CEO, Lindsay Simpson, reflected on the patterns of ageism that has witnessed across sectors of finance, HR, and consumer brand. The idea was further bolstered by the research of 100 years life. It was clear to Lindsay that there is so much wrong in our current view of old, and there has to be a way to reflect what it means to grow old in this new generation, where the life expectancy, the health and wellness has significantly impacted our well-being. So in the September of 2021, 55 Redefined was launched in London with the mission to change society's perception of old and to create a place where everyone can live their best selves. With that, let me welcome Lindsay Simpson, CEO of 55 Redefined.
Thank you, India, and also to all of the mentors, a number of which are in the room today, and the 5 institutions that have partnered with us. 83% of the wealth in the USA is held by over 50s. In fact, over 50 Americans would constitute the 3rd largest economy in the world in their own right. Yet they're consistently ignored, underserved, and disengaged. Our platforms, Life Redefined, Work Redefined, and Jobs Redefined, are powered by a world-class team who are enabling businesses to attract, grow, and engage over 50s talent and over 50s consumers. In the last century alone, we have added 30 healthy years to life expectancy, which means a baby born in the USA today, 50% will live to 104. But over the course of the next 2 decades, our working age population will shrink by 25%, whilst our over 50s grows at over 40%. So if you don't have an age strategy, you don't have a growth strategy. Our Redefining Age methodology is a suite of media, digital, and consulting solutions that enable us to understand how age impacts your business. From everything from our redefining recruitment advertising to over 50s, which is seeing us deliver 400% uplifts in candidate and client expectations, through to how we deliver age diagnostics to the major corporations, which are meaning that they are unpicking and reframing their customer propositions and workforce strategies. The light bulb moment for me came 4 years ago. I took a call from one of the UK's largest banks who told me that they needed to hire bankers from the 1990s. And they couldn't find any because they all had lots of money and were retired. And so they weren't on LinkedIn and they weren't hanging around on job boards. And so I picked up the phone and started ringing my ex-banking colleagues from the 1990s and asked if they wanted to come back and work for me. In 8 weeks, I'd hired 400 people out of retirement. So that not only demonstrated the need for our marketplace for talent attraction, but it was the story that started the journey that I'm on today, which was retirement was the biggest mistake of their life. They could afford to be retired, but they didn't want to be. They're nothing like their parents. They don't dress like them. They don't think like them. They're healthier. They're wealthier. So fast forward today, and our 125,000 consumers, they're telling us that they want to retire the term retirement. We are already age-enabling some of the world's largest brands. And it's our use cases within financial services, from the likes of AXA to Barclays to Hargreaves Lansdown, that have seen us propelled into the lab today. If you were to pick up Larry Fink's chairman's address for BlackRock this year, you'll see he talks about a silent crisis. Governments, institutions failing to understand the impact that longevity is having on their businesses. But I believe this is only a crisis if you leave this room today and take no action. Because the companies that we are working with are seeing that focusing in on that over 50s demographic is not just a nice HR initiative, it's not a diversity-only outcome, and it's not just an ESG positioning. It's delivering massive, tangible business outcomes. And it's in that bottoms area of customer outcomes that we have gained the most out of the lab experience. The mentors and the corporates that we've worked with have identified that we can bring our workforce enterprise solutions and bring them to market to a consumer audience across the US and international to serve for the likes of the 401k, for the wealth market, and engaging and enabling high net worth over 50s. So Richard, our Chief Operating Officer, who's in the room here today, and I will be outside, and we would love to talk to investors, potential collaborators, and potential customers, but equally anybody who just wants to understand that understanding age is your superpower. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Alex Simon. I'm here on behalf of KeyBank, and I'm excited for the opportunity to present Dan Kramer of Jade. As many of you know, customers are going to interact with their financial institution in the way that is most convenient for them, whether that's text message, email, Slack message, or phone call. And we need to, and we want to, be able to accommodate these customers in whichever way they want to interact with us. But it's not always easy to do, right? It can be error-prone, it can be time-consuming, it can be expensive. And the team at Jade understands that problem intently and deeply, and is working hard to bring a solution to market that solves that problem. Using artificial intelligence as a service, Jade's platform selects the appropriate algorithm at the appropriate time to read, understand, and act on human communication, bringing structure to the unstructured. Our team at Key has had the pleasure of working with Dan and the rest of his team over the last 3 months and has been impressed by their professionalism, their industry expertise and knowledge, and their technology solution. And we look forward to continuing our relationship with them into the future. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Dan from Jade.
Thank you, Alec. It was certainly a highlight of the 3 months here was our trip to Cleveland. We still did not get to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but that's next. Jade is an AI-powered platform that reads, interprets, and manages human communication and routes it to the right place for resolution. We do this to solve a problem that all industries are facing. And that problem, and it's very acute in financial services, and that problem is that humans will communicate however they want to communicate. Email, fax, chat, phone, smoke signals, carrier pigeons, it doesn't matter. They'll communicate how they want, and in any moment, they may communicate differently. And on the other side, you have systems that require structured information to do their work, and never the twain shall meet. The model works. You have the systems that you see on the right side, your systems of communication. They get input from clients, and they take that information, and that information has to get to the systems on the right side of the screen, which require structured information. Workflow systems, your CRM, ticketing systems, and that's the challenge that is being faced. And that's where Jade comes in. We use our proprietary AI technology to read and understand the communication, categorize it, and structure it so the systems on the other side can do their work. And this is truly a loop, because we then manage the communication that's generated from the resolution of that problem back to the client on the other side. And in fact, issues and events can be created internally within a company. As an example, a workflow system could kick off a capital call that requires communication with clients, and we can manage that on the client's behalf. Our clients benefit from a virtuous circle of value. They see their client experience improve, their employee engagement improve, and they see significant improvements in efficiency. Our clients truly do have it all. And the leaders at our clients, what they see is much better business intelligence. Clients of Jade, once they're clients of Jade, have much better information about their teams, about their clients, and about their products. And we do this, as I said, using proprietary AI consensus engine. That's the key to the model. And on top of that, we've built a complex case management system, which enables us to manage the cases throughout that infinity loop that you saw earlier. And we built a domain engine, which allows us to be very scalable. Whatever the use case is, we can connect. And the proof is in the pudding. We've seen significant growth this year, right? We've added 10 new clients this year already, and we have a very, very active pipeline. And the best news for us is every single one of our clients has added a new use case. Our clients are seeing the value that we promised them when they signed up. We've got a great team, with all due respect. We all either have experience in financial services or in fintech, and 3 of our leaders, including myself, have brought businesses to exit. We're also blessed by a great team of advisors. Those advisors make us better every day, help us improve our product every day, but also they have access in excess. If you're a financial services organization and you'd like to see an improvement in your client experience and an improvement in efficiency, please come see us afterwards or get my contact information from the QR code. If you're an investor and you'd like to join us on this exciting journey, we're finalizing a seed round as we speak, and we'd love to talk to you. So thank you very much to the FinTech Innovation Lab, Accenture, the New York Partnership for Growth, our sponsors. Thank you, Alec, for introducing me. It's been a great ride.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Anyamobi, and I am a Contracts and Technology Counsel for the Travelers Companies. Managing construction projects is hard. With several different vendors and projects happening at the same time, managing construction involves two things: lots of paperwork and lots of organizational skills. Construction professionals, including managers, vendors, and brokers, need ways to streamline construction compliance processes, to increase transparency, and to save time. Enter Billy, an all-in-one construction compliance platform that simplifies the vendor compliance process, including automated collection and verification of certificates of insurance, W-9 forms, business licenses, and other compliance documents. Our interest in working with Billy stemmed from their strong founding team and their extensive construction and insurance experience. During our work together, Billy has demonstrated this, along with a very coachable nature and openness to feedback. We've worked with Billy to refine their product positioning and to onboard Billy to our Travelers Innovation Network, which is a curated collection of solutions to help customers with their risk mitigation needs. In all, the Billy team has worked tirelessly to create a product that saves customers time and money through optimization and through automation. Now, I'd like to introduce Billy's co-founder, Nyasha Gutsa, who will tell you more. Thank you.
Good morning. Construction is one of the largest and most important industries in the world. It accounts for 12% of the world's GDP. About 10% of you in this room come from construction families. It is also the second least digitized industries. I'm about to tell you a story. Meet Brender. Brender is a financial controller at a company called Albanese Builders. They're a $150 million contractor in Boca Raton. They build elder facilities. They'll build schools. They also build some infrastructure that we travel on every day. Because of the uniqueness of construction, there are no two projects that are the same. They have different owners. They have different lenders. They have different insurance brokers. For every contract that they sign, it has unique insurance and compliance requirements. One of those things that Brender loves is insurance. I'm joking about that she loves it. She actually hates insurance, and I'll tell you why. It's because every time she sends a contract, it's like playing broken telephone. The broker and the subcontractor don't know about the contract that one has signed. So subcontractor signs, broker doesn't know that the subcontractor has signed a contract, so they don't have insurance requirements. The broker doesn't work in the same systems as the subcontractor. Such a noisy process, it looks like this. So the owners are working in emails. The general contractors are in another platform. The insurance brokers are in a different silo. The insurance carriers have no idea what just happened. If you're lucky enough, you might have to go to the 24th floor and try to find a fax machine, because some insurance brokers will say, I can only fax you my compliance documents. We have a solution. It's a new product category. Just like how DocuSign reinvented how you sign a contract, we found a way to bridge the gap between construction and insurance. It's simple for folks like Brender to collect all their compliance documents along a contract. So they can collect things like certificates of insurance, tax forms that are required, and also other compliance documents that are needed to fulfill a contract. The platform integrates with common construction management solutions such as Procore that are used by Brenda's company. It's a true two-way integration, even though the product can stand alone by itself. This extends the use cases of what Brenda could want to do. Maybe somebody should not come onto a project because they don't have insurance. Billy can also proactively communicate that to the subcontractor and their broker. This is an illustration of how we solve their problem. We're connecting carriers such as Travelers and their distribution network of brokers along a commonly used workflow around the world, which is a contract. Anytime a contract is signed in a system such as Procore or an Autodesk, their broker will be notified, my customer has signed a contract. They're now closer to their customer. They're embedded in the customer's workflows through Billy. Our platform has been used on America's first high-speed rail. Even the train had to prove that it's compliant using Billy. This was a $4 billion project, saved over 4,000 man-hours for one of America's largest contractors, Wharton Smith. And we're not done there yet. Every 4 days, we add a general contractor. Sometimes it's very viral. Some of the contractors refer us to others. We're in the US. We're also as far as Australia. We're for small builders. We're for large builders. We're for large property owners. What's nice is that we're connecting professionals along a common workflow process. What excites me the most is the team. The team comes from construction technology and also insurance. Together, we're making construction compliance simpler and bridging the gap between construction and insurance on one platform. Thank you so much. My name is Nyashar. I'm going to be with Amit at our booth. Thank you again.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I am Karen Wang, investor at Deutsche Bank Corporate Venture Capital. We were so excited to be paired with Luigi from Before AI this year in the Fintech Innovation Lab program, and are really proud of all the ideas and growth that has spurred through our collaboration. The world of cybersecurity is a fast-moving one, and it is predicted that there will be more than 800,000 cybersecurity attacks this year. That's a lot of attacks. And that number is only increasing as we go, as malicious actors are evolving over time. What if there was a solution that can solve this issue? What if we can predict these attacks before they happen? This is where Before AI comes in. Before AI can predict threat attacks weeks before they happen and block them before they hit your organization. With that anticipation, you are ready for the attack and you can preempt it. That means you can be ready for it. I am proud to introduce Luigi from Before AI. So everyone, please help me welcome him.
Thank you very much, Karen. We are all victims. We predict every day 20,000 new phishing attacks that hit your mailboxes. My hope by the end of this speech is that I give you a new view and you become an actor of your defense and stop being a victim. At Before AI, we think that cybersecurity has a big problem. We are very, very reactive in this industry. We wait for the criminal to attack, to then try to identify them and block them once they're making their damages. Think to it a bit like weather forecast was 100 years ago. At the time, you would guess what happened next by looking at the color of the sky in the evening, Some people would probably dance, others would pray. Everybody would get it wrong. And what happened? People were dying for hurricanes. Agriculture wasn't particularly efficient. And you couldn't organize your vacation in a nice spot. What happened today? We have satellites, supercomputing power, massive modeling that enable 90% of the time to get weather forecasts right at 3 days, 80% of the time at 15 days. That helps save lives in case of hurricanes, improving yield of agriculture. And all of you have checked weather forecasts yesterday to know that today was coming and raining. What if we could have the same capability in cybersecurity? We need to change the paradigm. We need a way to be one step ahead of the criminals. We need to be able to stop those losses that amount to unbearable values. And we need to protect our data and our people. Enter pre-crime. Pre-crime is our technology that enables us to predict cyber threats. We are able to identify the source of the attack hours, weeks, months ahead of those attacks, and that helps our customer be one step ahead. It wouldn't be as valuable if it wasn't precise. 99 to 95% of our prediction realize. That avoids chasing ghosts and false alerts. And there is a cherry on the cake. It is threat agnostic. That means we can predict infrastructures that will carry attacks that have never been seen before. Because we are not focusing on the attack. We are focusing on the criminals and how they prepare the attack. So this solution has been extremely successful in the financial industry, both for banking and for insurances. We have customers that use our pre-crime networks to protect their assets, their infrastructure against all sorts of attacks, from ransomware to data exfiltration to infiltrations. You see some names of our customers like Philips and Signify. We have one of the largest brokers here in the US that also use this technology. We can help customers of our customers, like Volksbank does, asking us to avoid their customer to become victim of phishing and saving more than 8 million euro every year in fraud losses. Through the program, we have identified new use cases like anti-fraud, helping companies to avoid account takeovers and authorized push payment scams, a problem that is becoming bigger because legislation is pushing the need of covering this fraud into the financial system, away from the consumers and the small players. And we have identified in the insurance sector a new use cases. We are working with one of our mentors where we can enable active policing. That means we help the insurance reduce the losses through the claims. So this looks maybe too good to be true, and you probably by now are curious to know how does this work. We will be outside, Luciano, Sebastian, and myself, happy to explain you that this is not a crystal ball. There is a lot of technology. There is a lot of work behind it. It works. Our customers use it every single day. You may want to discover how this will benefit you. Each one of your organization may have different use cases. We'd love to hear about what problem you want to avoid and how we can help enable that. And we're growing very fast. 90% of our business is already here in the US. We'd love to talk with people that want to invest in us to accelerate. Finally, thank you, everybody. It's been a great program, and we feel more and more part of the ecosystem in New York, where we plan to come as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brianna Ferguson, and I work on the digital partnerships team at Bank of New York Mellon. Throughout the year, we all see multiple headlines in the newspaper about new regulatory standards that will impact our firm's cybersecurity and vendor governance teams. We also read articles about criminals weaponizing leaked data, and we watch depositions by large companies accused of exposing customers' data. Attention by regulators on the financial services services industry is at an all-time high, and scrutiny over vendor governance and data protections is not slowing down anytime soon. Enter Lab One, a tool that will source, extract, and contextualize compromised data in real time to enable your business to prevent attacks, manage damage, and quantify risk not only for yourself, but for your staff, customers, and every company you care about in your network. It is my pleasure to introduce Robin Patel, CEO of Lab One, to explain how his company can help you.
Thanks, Brianna. We are focused on corporate data exposure. Now, this is a huge problem, as we've already heard from before AI. We process around 600 entities per second. An entity is something like a company name, a domain name, or an email. That means in the next 4 minutes, we will process 150,000 entities, and you're going to learn why that's important, and you're going to wonder, did any impact me? Now, what is exposed data? It's not just credentials, and it's not just hackers to blame. This is all business data. This is financial data, secrets, PII, customer data. And as I say, it's not just hackers. Staff and suppliers are very much to blame for the reason that data is leaking. And it creates enormous business risks. Damage to your customers, impact on your business operations, fraud risk, cyber attack risk, reputation damage, and importantly, non-compliance. Now, I'm going to make it more real. 3 weeks ago, we started a trial with a global bank. Within 3 days, we found staff's sensitive information in a fourth-party data leak that they weren't aware of. They had told us they had a 24/7 cybersecurity operation, yet they hadn't picked this up. The third party, in this case, had shared information with a fourth party without consent, showing that controls weren't working, and it created multiple risks for the organization. Because of our insights, we were able to help them neutralize the issue and move on. But yesterday, the same bank, one record in one file from another breach, exposed them to investor risk because it was an investor relations document that was leaked. Again, they weren't aware of this, and now they can proactively manage the situation. Now, monitoring data exposure through supply chains is not an easy problem to solve. It's in millions of locations. We're talking about messy, unstructured data from potentially thousands of third parties or millions of fourth. And banks and businesses at the moment use people, either their own people or people they hire in through third parties. This makes the process slow, unscalable, and expensive. We've taken a data science approach to this problem. We've built bespoke tools to handle those millions of locations. We use natural language processing and named entity recognition for extracting those all-important entities from the messy, unstructured content. And we use open source intelligence to gather context data around companies and their staff. We have AI, machine learning, and graphing technology which connects the data dots, which enables us to deliver insights to help prevent attacks and fraud from happening, alerts in near real time so that you're on top of the situation quickly, third and fourth party data exposure reports so you can monitor risk through the supply chain, and compromised digital identities to help you do compromised identity checks to try and reduce fraud. Finally, it's all available data as a service through our API. Now, a little bit about the company. We were launched our first product last year. We're backed by industry experts and Accenture Lab mentors, some of whom are in the room today. We've signed a national defense force, a global bank, a private equity firm, and a VC already as customers. We're managing 25 billion entities already, which comprise 2.2 billion unique identities and over 30 million companies. The lab has been brilliant. We've learned an awful lot. 3 years product market fit in 3 months, as was said at the beginning. We've learned about the cyber insurance market and how our data could help reduce risk. And our trip to Washington to meet the regulators is where we learned about the brand new third-party risk management guidance issued by 3 federal regulators, which we helped to satisfy straight away. Finally, we're raising our next round of capital in the next 6 months. So thanks for listening. And that key question, do any of those 150,000 entities impact any of you? Visit our booth or contact me to find out.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Shepard. I head up marketing strategy and planning at Guardian Life Insurance. It is my pleasure today to introduce Alex Miles and his team at Breakthrough. Over the last few weeks, they've discovered ways to provide their offering to us in a manner that best fits with their purpose and also our varying organizational goals. Their team is passionate about connecting youth with companies through learning. They saw a need and wanted to provide a solution. Therefore, they were willing and open to explore ways to enter new sectors and understand many of the security and risk companies like ours consider as we look to partner with talented, cutting-edge startups. It was a learning journey for us as well, and we leaned in to appreciate their offering and potentially go after a market we haven't tapped into. Breakthrough provides students with a way to earn money by actively learning about companies, key facts and insights, and gaining some core skills, and then spend those dollars they've earned through the digital platform via their app. As you hear Alex present today, pause and imagine how this could be a valuable offering for you and your teams, but also consider the value you can bring to the youth on this platform. With that said, I'd like to introduce Alex Miles, the CEO of Breakthrough.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Miles. I'm the CEO at Breakthrough. Already might think, where's this guy from? I'm from Sydney, Australia. I played professional rugby back home, and I've been working in marketing and technology now for over 13 years. I came to New York City 8 years ago. I was working in tech and wanted to stay in the rugby community, so I landed in Harlem coaching a high school girls rugby team. Learned very quickly that the girls struggled to build wealth, find access to education and opportunities. So I picked up the phone. I started calling all the best Ivy schools in the country, and all of a sudden I was landing girls from the projects in Harvard, Brown, and Dartmouth on a full-ride scholarship. At this same time, I'm learning that companies are desperate to reach youth online. Over $500 billion is spent every year trying to reach them, and brands are consistently trying to spend more money to reach them and build loyalty. Over 50%, or nearly 50% of that money, is wasted and leads to no conversion. Continually, young people are hard to capture their attention. You've probably got kids, you understand that their attention spans are diminishing, it's harder to build loyalty and trust online, and the supply of content is only increasing. I thought, how can I bring these two problems together? That's where Breakthrough comes in. Breakthrough is an earn platform for youth, 15 to 24, that come onto our app, they learn about companies, they learn about skills, financial literacy, and they get paid into a digital wallet instantly. They can then go and spend that money with our partners, Visa, PayPal, Uber, Amazon, and Dunkin'. We are coining a new term and pioneering what we call rewarding content. Everyone wants engaging content, it's yesterday. Today and the future is rewarding content. Young people learn something from the content that we produce from brands, and they're actually rewarded through some monetary value. Not only that, the kids love it. Over 85,000 students have downloaded and registered onto our app, and we now have a clear pathway to 500,000 in the next 12 months. On top of that, over 1,300 reviews, we have a 4.9 average rating on the App Store, and over 75% of the youth that come onto our platform come from underrepresented backgrounds. My co-founder and CTO is here today, Gene Martinez. He helped lead his last company to a $100 million exit, and he faced this student as an immigrant growing up here in Queens and New York. He faced this as a student, and I faced this as a coach, uniquely positioning us to be successful. But on top of that, some of the biggest investors are backing us in the space. Goodwater Capital, Techstars, we even have TikTok superstars with over 100 million followers giving us money to get onto the journey. What's really cool about our product is this digital wallet. Young people are coming in, transacting, sending money, investing without a deposit and without fees, and we're getting to them before any other retail bank in the country. How do we work with companies today? We work with companies on an annual package based off the size and what they're willing to try and extract from youth and what they're willing to educate. We provide branded, rewarding content that they've never had before, deliver consumer insights that they've never seen about Gen Z and this younger generation, and we also guarantee 100 times of positive brand association, again, something they've never seen before. Since launching revenue last year, we've had over 30 customers join, including WeWork, Carnegie, and Front Office Sports, even Brown Advisory. And we're also delivering results that they've never seen before in terms of applications and conversions. If you're sitting in the crowd and you're thinking, we've got a problem with youth, which a lot of financial services and insurance companies do, or how can we save more money reaching youth? Come and speak to me after. One last thing, we are in conversations at the moment with retail banks. We have figured out how to acquire young people into their first bank account for very cheap. And we all know, you've probably got a bank account today. It's the one that you set up in high school or college. We've cracked that. If that comes to you and you are a retail bank, we'd love to talk to you as these conversations continue. Just lastly, thank you, Maria, Monteza and the team, Accenture and Fintech Innovation Lab. This has by far been one of the best programs that we as a team have gone through. Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. My name is Fani Kilaru, and I'm from AIG. And today, I take the pleasure to introduce Maria Carreker. Most of you know that testing requires a lot of control data. And creation of this particular data is pretty complex, especially in the environments where you have large volumes of data with numerous number of scenarios. Privacy, compliancy, everything plays into the role. And most of the times, you don't even have data for testing as well, right? Taking all these particular situations, there comes Diveplane. Diveplane takes your real data and creates synthetic data to make sure that your testing process is being seamless and also addresses some of these complaints and other concerns that organizations currently have. Let me introduce Maria Carreker for better feedback. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Everyone in this room is probably experiencing the same tension when it comes to generative AI. You cannot afford to get left behind. You're hearing that from the boardroom all the way down. But you also can't be reckless because you work in a regulated industry. Regulated enterprises need an AI toolbox that they can trust, audit, and explain. Synthetic data is going to be a part of that toolbox. If you're not familiar with synthetic data, it's really a simple concept. It is digitally generated data, created from your own data, but it's actually better in some ways. First, you can anonymize it for privacy. Second, you can fix bias and errors in your original data sets, and you can also model for future hypotheticals like demographic shifts. And finally, you can create it in any volume you need. And as everyone knows, in the age of AI, we are going to need a lot of data. So when it comes to how to get this data, there have been several options in the past. Most of the banks and insurance companies that we talk to are making it themselves. They're doing it manually, in-house. This looks like a team of data scientists hacking away. It's expensive, it's slow, and oftentimes the quality of the data they produce isn't even that good. It's either not private, or it's not accurate, or both. There are some third-party solutions available that have solved the problem for scale. They have automated the creation of synthetic data. But there's a problem. Every one of the third-party solutions available is built using black box AI. And that's fine for some use cases. But if the data you're using is training a model that decides who gets a loan or an insurance policy, black box AI is not going to be good enough. Only Gemini synthetic data gives you synthetic data that you can trust, audit, and explain at scale. If you want to understand how we're able to do this, you have to know a little bit about us as a company. We were founded by Dr. Michael Capps and Dr. Chris Hazard. Mike Capps spent his career building and running Epic Games. He retired after the success of Fortnite. But in 2018, he came out of retirement because he felt called to do something about the existential crisis of black box AI. He joined Dr. Chris Hazard, a renowned AI and machine learning expert who had spent decades in academia, in defense, in software development, with the singular purpose of building AI that is as powerful as black box AI, but built for human control and understanding. Together, they built the team that built DivePlane's proprietary understandable AI engine. It is purpose-built for maximum trust and auditability, and it's protected by more than 60 patent assets. It's this differentiated core technology that gives us the ability to create synthetic data that is different and better than anything else out there. Trusted brands are already trusting Gemini synthetic data. Take MasterCard. They tested more than 24 AI solutions, and they picked us. They went on to invest in our Series A last summer, and they're now deploying our technology globally across dozens of use cases around the world. We're also generating revenue from other global financial institutions and government entities like Mutua Madrileña, the largest insurer in Spain, and the state of Virginia. We raised $25 million last year in our Series A, and we expect to raise again sometime in the next year. Thank you so much for a few minutes to talk a little bit about the way Gemini synthetic data can help unlock AI innovation for you responsibly. And thank you especially to the Fintech Innovation Lab. This has been an extraordinary experience for us. We have benefited so much from all the conversations that we've had to date, and we hope to continue those conversations with each of you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Fulton from Fidelity, and I'm here to introduce Owen from Argus. As many of us know, the regulatory environment for cryptocurrency is still being established, and scrutiny has only accelerated. Argus stands out in a small landscape of companies working to build out compliance infrastructure for large financial institutions and crypto-native firms alike. Argus focuses specifically on employee trade monitoring across digital assets, and it's first to market with its bottoms-up monitoring approach. We have greatly enjoyed getting to know Owen and look forward to continuing to develop our relationship. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Owen, CEO and co-founder of Argus.
Hi, everyone, and good morning. My name is Owen Rappaport. I'm co-founder, CEO of Argus, and we are the leading edge in employee trade compliance for digital assets. As you probably know, and as Lauren just mentioned, things are exciting when it comes to crypto regulatory scrutiny. That's both on the criminal and on the civil sides, as the SEC, the CFTC, and the Department of Justice are increasingly bringing cases focused on insider trading, front-running, and conflicts of interest. At the same time, of course, probably some firms, even in this room, and indeed many financial firms globally, are increasingly getting active in this space. They're saying that they want to trade, they want to custody, they want to help their counterparties take part in this emerging and exciting world of digital assets. As that happens, of course, they also face a risk. And that risk is that their employees want to trade digital assets and trade crypto as well. And when that happens, well, that's where you have the potential for conflicts of interest. And that's where Argus comes in. We come in to help these firms make sure that their employees are not putting the firm at risk, are not acting in ways that they shouldn't. And we do that today through really three key pillars of our product. The first is pre-clearance. Can I trade? Can I do these things? The second is really crypto native and more or less unique to the transparency and the opportunities afforded by the blockchain, which is that we're not only able to trust, but we're also truly able to verify, to find undisclosed accounts, to look for activities that shouldn't be done, and indeed to look for interactions with sanctioned counterparties or high-risk counterparties. Finally, of course, all of this is wrapped up in a digestible and easily consumable workflow tied to what traditional firms already know from what they've been doing for decades in the world of securities. In terms of where we are today, we're primarily working with crypto-native firms, crypto funds, crypto market makers, some of the largest crypto exchanges globally. At the same time, increasingly we are seeing interest and excitement about our product from the traditional firms, some of them whom we've been so grateful to get to know through the lab. And that reflects, of course, that they know very well what requirements are in the world of securities and want to have that same level of robustness and controls here in the world of digital assets. We're also working with the US government. Knowing that we have some VCs in the room, there's also a little bit of context in terms of where we are today, more as a company, which is that compliance officers are using our product daily. We've grown average contract values roughly 300% since we started the business. And we're capital efficient, despite being early stage, which is that for every dollar invested, we're producing more than $1 in revenue. We're differentiated because we are truly the only player focused on this risk in the space. You have many players that are looking at the market level and market surveillance, both traditional, that you probably will know and recognize, as well as more crypto native. At the same time, you also have many players that are thinking about securities insider trading and securities risks among employees. But Argus is the only player that is thinking about this angle in crypto specifically. We are at the same time, of course, thinking about partnership opportunities and distribution opportunities with some of these other traditional players, knowing that our product really well complements their product. And that too is something we've been grateful to learn in the lab, which is that together we might be stronger than just trying to do a direct sale on our own. Finally, where are we and who are we? So we're an early stage team, early stage startup. My co-founder Omar is our CTO with his PhD in physics, so deeply immersed in the data that underlies all of our work. And then we're bolstered, and of course, we're very grateful to have a superb team. It's coming from a combination of big tech and startups, as well as from the sales side, more sort of B2B SaaS. Thank you so much to the Partnership Fund for New York, to Accenture, to all of our partners and chaperones who've made this an incredible experience. And please come and get in touch if you want to talk crypto and compliance. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott McSweeney. I'm from Aladdin Wealth Tech at BlackRock, and I'm excited to be here today to introduce responsive AI. So these days, when we come into the office, we know we're all bombarded by many sources of information. You sit down at your desk, you have emails, text messages, news alerts. Wouldn't it be great if you had something to tell you what the next best action you could take to add the most value to your company is? I know I could use that every day. And that's what Responsive has actually built for the wealth management industry. By establishing powerful integrations with data providers and applying behavioral AI models onto that data, they're able to surface meaningful insights about investor behavior to financial advisors. Ultimately, Responsive is aiming to simplify the job of the financial advisor and let their users focus on growing their practice while leaving the complicated job and time-consuming job of data synthesis to their AI. Responsive has come to the lab at a really great time when AI is the dominant story in tech, as we've seen from many of the other companies here, and it's been our pleasure to work with their team. BlackRock has been able to make connections with several BlackRock teams have been able to make connections with Responsive's team, including some of our experts in artificial intelligence and machine learning, as well as experts within the wealth management industry. And it's been really gratifying for us and rewarding for us to see the insights that our firms have been able to share and the growth in Responsive's technology just in the short time that we've spent together. So I'm excited for you all to see what Responsive has built and their vision for the future of financial advice. And it's my pleasure to introduce Day Washell, the co-founder and CEO of Responsive. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Helen. The conversations we had with Aladdin Wealth were so incredibly valuable. I'm Day, and in the 20 years I've worked in artificial intelligence, the thing that still excites me is the idea that AI can amplify the capabilities of regular people. And that's why I believe the future of financial advice is human. And that's why we built Responsive, to create an AI tool that empowers advisors to increase lifetime value through better conversations with their clients. Now here's the problem. The average advisor spends 9% of their time interacting with clients. And clients are demanding more and more, especially now with affluent segment. And advisors have more and more data, more compliance, more reporting, more tools, more to pay attention to. Their attention is divided. So opportunities in the data are getting lost, centered on client needs. That's why we built the Prioritized Dashboard. It's a morning coffee dashboard for advisors. But it's not just a dashboard. It's a bunch of superpowers that enable the advisor to do more. So let's talk about those superpowers. The first is instant idea generation that reduces cost to serve and cost to sell. The second is meaningful cross-selling that increases the lifetime value of the client. The third is relationship defense, which protects the lifetime value of the client. And finally, we can analyze gaps in the CRM data, so we're improving data quality continually with ongoing discovery. And we prioritize all of this, getting the advisor to focus on the most important thing. Now, what's different about responsive? There's a lot of next best offer, next best product tools out there. Our difference is we're solely focused on the conversation between advisors and clients and the data that supports those conversations, which, as you know, is quite wide and quite complicated, especially when you include taxes. And it's a real privacy, security, and regulatory issue. That's why everything we do is centered on privacy and explainable AI. And finally, it's hard to teach advisors new tricks. So we've built a change management framework which enables A/B testing, advisor feedback, and KPI dashboards which allow home office to continually encourage adoption and improve performance. I want to zoom in just on one really small thing here. This is a client use case. Imagine you're a junior advisor. You've got hundreds of clients. And each of these clients has thousands of data points. This is just one signal here for Esther, okay? And it's buried in her tax form 8917, okay? She didn't file it this year because she stopped paying tuition for her daughter. So the kid's off payroll, right? It's funny. But it's actually a really meaningful life change point. It's a moment that matters. And even just connecting with her on this moment is going to drive NPS. And then after that, we can start having different kinds of conversations, right? We can do a replan, which is going to enhance suitability for the client and their product service fit. We can encourage her to save more so she can retire sooner and richer. She might be considering downsizing her home, so that's a mortgage refi. And then there's insurance. And behind all of this are conversation starters that make this interaction happen faster. We're proven for enterprise, active with an advisor network of over 4,000, data to insight in under a week. And with a pilot in a tier 1 bank in Europe, we tripled the amount of proposals closed, doubled the amount of assets, and we have 95% accuracy in predicting money movement. Some of you are quite far ahead in the next best action race. And many businesses we're talking to now are thinking this is a 2023, 2024 priority. We'd love to show you our demo and our zero integration POC. Thank you all, especially the Phil team, especially the sponsors, and especially the awesome mentors. We had such an excellent time.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Paul Margarias from TD Bank, and it's my pleasure today to introduce Sean Malamed from Spiral. You know, it's really fun being in the fintech and innovation space, but there's something truly special and energizing to be able to not just deliver client value with unique solutions, but to pair that with doing environmental and social good. Our customer demands are always going to change, and it's really inspiring to see that those demands right now are focused on asking their financial institutions to do more about social and environmental concerns. And Spiral gives us the tools to enable just that. They allow us to put the hands of doing that good into our clients' banking relationships. They can take the value of their spending and their relationships and target it to the good that they want to do in the world. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Sean Malamed, founder of Spiral.
Thank you, Paul. Hi, I'm Sean, CEO and co-founder of Spiral, and we help banks grow deposit and engage through impact and sustainability. So how do we do this? We embed impact and sustainability directly into core financial products. So we can transform a debit card, a credit card, a checking account into an impact-forward or ESG-forward product. For example, here, we see our everyday impact product. Every time I swipe my card, a tangible positive impact happens. For example, I bought food or bought groceries and to provide a meal to a child in need. I put gas in my car because it's a carbon-emitting transaction. Roundup was used to actually plant a tree and offset my carbon emission. It's an easy, frictionless way, an associative way to do good, feel impactful, and for the banks, it's a great way to attract deposits, increase engagement and usage of your products. You can, as a bank, aggregate this impact, not what Sean did, but actually all of us in this room, and see how much trees have we planted together, how much meals we provided together, and help the bank track towards your ESG and impact goals. We work with hundreds of different nonprofits in the US, so you can completely tailor the impact to be the narrative that you want to have as part of your bank, and to create a stronger affinity to your underlying served communities, whether Swipe translate to helping veterans, Swipe translate to helping specific faith groups, or Swipe helps to climate change. We have 3 products like this. You just saw our first one, Everyday Impact. That's our transactional account. Giving Center is the first time that you can actually donate directly from your bank account to any charity in the US. You can get all of the charitable gift receipts all in one place, and as a bank, you can also match donation and get CRA credits in your assessment areas. The third product that we have is a dedicated charitable giving account designed more for wealth management and wealthier people. It's a donor advised fund. The moment somebody moves money into that account, they get a full tax deduction for the year, and they can donate it from that account in later years. It's a great way of building a small family foundation or a small business foundation. Let's take a closer look into our Giving Center. It's the first time that you can directly donate from your bank account to any charity in the US. I can donate once, I can donate on a monthly recurring basis, I can search any charity out of the 1.5 million charities. In addition, as a bank, you can highlight specific nonprofits you're working with or specific causes you stand behind. You can match your customer donations and deploy the same cash you deploy to CRA, but get a lot of recognition from your customers and get CRA credit in your assessment areas. It takes less than 5 seconds to donate to any charity in the US, get your charitable gift receipt directly in your bank account. So why should you do this as a bank from a commercial perspective? Of course, it's the right thing to do. What we found is you can do extremely well commercially by doing good. For comparing customers that turn everyday impact in the first 90 days of account opening versus people that didn't, 3.6 times more monthly transactions from those customers, 3 times more monthly deposits coming from those customers, and up to 30% higher digital engagement. So if you're looking for a path of creating strong affinity and converting a customer to choose you as a primary financial institution, it's a great way of doing it. In addition, what we've learned is you can actually acquire customers, new customers, in a much more cost-efficient way. So we've proven you can acquire customers in less than $100 for a fully funded account, where the industry average today is far north of $280. And that's by leveraging cause-based marketing and leveraging that impact and sustainability in your marketing assets. It's super easy to go live with us. We provide an API and SDK so you can completely tailor the experience that you want to have inside your mobile app, web application. We handle all the back office. We manage all the donation processing and issuing the charitable gift receipt to your customers. So as the bank, you don't need to do much. Thank you very much. Looking forward to helping you grow deposits, increase the engagement, and lower your customer acquisition costs.
My name is Morteza, and I lead the Fintech Innovation Lab. It has been an absolute honor to be facilitating and helping drive the collaboration between financial services institution, the VC community, the EIRs, the mentors, and the cohort for 2023. A big congratulations to the cohort. So far, they have done conversations around 17 proof of concepts within the span of the 12 weeks that they have been part of this cohort and the program. A very heartfelt thank you to all the financial services institution mentors, the VC community, the EIRs, the Accenture leadership for the time that they have spent. Collectively, they have given more than 400 hours to move the needle on innovation and generate momentum for these startups. I want to leave the audience with 3 ways to continuing their engagement with the FinTech Innovation Lab. So number 1, we would love to grow our ecosystem of financial services institutions. When we started 13 years ago, it was 10 financial services sponsors, and today we have more than 40. If you're interested, please reach out. We would love to evaluate that and incorporate you in the next cohort. We also have a way for receiving nominations for referrals for next year. That cycle starts in September, October timeframe. And some of the best startups that we have had in our network have come through referrals from this audience. And lastly, we have a robust 300 alumni network of folks and startups that have gone through the program from our London chapter, New York chapter, and APAC chapter. If you'd like to be connected, we're happy to make those connections, orchestrate bespoke demo days for our clients and partners. Very happy to engage you on that front. With that, let me invite this audience to continue the dialogue in a demo format in the next room. And folks who are joining us virtually, on the demo day landing page, there's an interactive component where you can engage with the content and request one-on-one meetings with the startups. And with that, we'll close with a big round of applause for everybody that made today possible.